Thank you, Chair, and thank you all so much for being here, and thank you for your work. Commissioner, congratulations on your appointment. I look forward to working with you. I'll start with you first with building inspectors, and I also did have a question on short-term rental compliance, and then the Zoning Board of Appeals. So with building inspectors, and just shout out to all the ISD workers. They do incredible work, and just wanted to thank them within code enforcement, inspection, food service, and plans and zoning. So we've worked with former commissioners to get additional building inspectors into the district, and the caseload was just simply too much. Their capacity was limited just because of all the cases. Just wondering if you have an average response time. How has the increased capacity helped, or how has it not helped? And then also talking about on the proactive side, so there's a disturbing trend in the north end for building collapses. And so it's going to require us to be a lot more proactive because some of these buildings are nearing 100 years, they're meeting their limits, and so I'm just curious if there are any specific investments to be more proactive, to look at these buildings either through staff capacity or operational processes.
So field staff, our building inspection response time. We are actually working on improving our management visibility into the volume of our inspection requests, and through that exercise, we'll be able to gain visibility into that response time. We have it in certain divisions, but we're not able to provide it just yet for the building division. That being said, they are able to manage their workload. They're divided by wards, and each inspector can provide you with information on their own. So we might just look at the ward you're interested in and give you that information from the particular inspector. Maybe that's hopefully helpful.
Okay.
As far as building collapse, yes, we are aware, and the encouragement would be for both residents, yourself, and everyone who is kind of the steward of the neighborhood to let us know if they're observing or concerned with any building having structural damage, any kind of issue, to report it via 311, to call us, to let us know any, call center, myself, chief of staff, every staff member is able to redirect. And if we find a violation, we can issue it and then follow up with the property owner to get the property up to code. Okay.
And there's no, I guess, proactive assessment of some of our oldest buildings going out? Is there like a regular scheduled inspection that happens for buildings that are over 100 years, say, or there's nothing like that within ISD?
No, we do rely on the property owner to maintain their own property. However, if an inspector is out on the field doing their inspections and they visually observe something, they can. They can't access private property, without consent or permission, but they do observe violations and file them if they see them.
Okay. Thank you. So in terms of short-term rental programs, so my colleague had asked a question that I was going to ask. How is that program doing? I think there's, so you have 1,000 active short-term rentals, 500 violations. There was some discussion about jurisdiction on, say, Massport land, for example. We had caught that there were dozens of short-term rentals on Massport land. I think it was either, I don't want to say the wrong building actually, but it was on the East Boston waterfront. Has there been a proactive approach to trying to find some of these bad actors? And if so, what does that look like?
Sure. So the housing division is maintaining that registration program, and they are using technology to continuously monitor the online listings. That's how they would find out about them. And then they do take steps to enforce the ordinance. We are also, like I said earlier, working closely with the platforms to make sure that they are removing those non-compliant listings. I had not heard about that case on Massport land, so let's just connect offline about that. The department's opinion, the ordinance is working as designed. We do have a pretty robust registration program, sufficient wide-ranging technology to monitor the activity and respond quickly. And the ZBA has been denying applications that are related to conversions of rental units into things like executive suites. We've not seen any applications for conversions more officially, but we monitor that part proactively.
Okay, and I was actually going to discuss executive suites, but I think that's a conversation for another day.
Okay.
It's a loophole. We're losing that money. If you do have an executive suite, or if you do have a short-term rental, rather, you're supposed to pay into this community fund, which was supposed to pay for affordable housing, and so we're losing that money. So I'm happy to hear that the ZBA is denying some of those proposals. And then when it comes to the Zoning Board of Appeals, you know very well, we've gone through Plan East Boston for 5 years. We just spent 5 years rewriting new rules for the Zoning Board of Appeals to review and look at. Understanding that the ZBA is a legally independent board, the administrative duties and responsibilities lies under ISD. And so you have very limited oversight over them. But I'm wondering, has there been any internal policy memo or briefing that has been sent to the ZBA encouraging them to follow this new text amendment and this new zoning so that East Boston can have some predictability and stability when it comes to planning and development?
Yeah, so the conversation we've had with the ZBA and they're in agreement is that ongoing conversation and training in general of all of the issues that they oversee is helpful and desirable. So that's the conversation that's happened. Around changes in the zoning code, they have to be going through the zoning commission first and fully approved before they can enforce them, or before ISD, I guess, can enforce them. So, you know, they're not in place just yet.
So the Planning East Boston went to the zoning commission last week. So it's a rather new thing. So that's why I'm asking. It's at the forefront of people's minds. They're wondering about it. And so the Zoning Board of Appeals, as you know, does not have the best reputation in East Boston in particular because of the amount of variances that we've gotten over the last 5 years. So that's why we're looking to the ZBA to hold the line. And they were here actually last December, or was it December 2022, when we asked them, will you hold the line with the new zoning? We just spent all this time, city resources, to develop this. And it's really up to you to uphold the new law, basically. And so that's why I think if there hasn't been any trainings happen yet, again, it just occurred last week, but trainings and an internal memo or policy briefing, I think would be in the best interest of everybody. So I'm just encouraging that.
Yeah, for sure. We will conduct, in our administrative support role of them, ongoing training so that they're aware of all the information they need to know.
Thank you, Commissioner. Going to Carrie. You were just here, so I don't really have any questions for you all. Just thank you again for the work that you do. The Planning Advisory Council. I'm very interested to hear from you all what your interaction has been with them thus far. So this is a group of individuals led by Catherine Lusk to review exactly what the needs are, assessing either in the community or internally what some of the capital investments need to be in our community. So for example, through Plan Charlestown, we found out that we need a new ambulance bay due to the projected population growth. We need a new fire station. And so have you talked with them? Have you coordinated your capital investment proposals with them? Like, what has your interaction been? Because they were a huge part of moving the planning department from the BPDA to the city. And so I'm just curious to know what your interaction with them has been.
Thank you, Councilor. I mean, during the capital season, we did talk with Catherine, but both times that they had a meeting for that initiative, I had conflict, so I have not attended one of those yet, but I know they're having reoccurring meetings.
Okay, Eamon, have you gone?
I have, yeah. So they have pretty regular meetings where they have different departments present their capital plan and sort of their goals. And so I've been, I think, to at least 3 of them, heard from different departments presenting their plan. Libraries was one, for example. And then I think we talk about sort of pain points, best practices, that sort of thing. And I know most recently we had a presentation from BTD where they talked about all of their citywide projects with the goal of trying to identify, like, if there is a capital project where a building's being renovated and we're doing a new sidewalk, like, to try to better coordinate those things that happen across the city. So that's been my experience. I know they're sort of just kicking off and figuring out how they're going to proceed, but so far it's been helpful.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Councilor Coletta. Now I'll turn it over to the Vice Chair